Facebook is Nigeria Info 95.1 Abuja. Join me, drop your comments there, and I'll be glad to hear from you so we can get it moving. It's already 7 minutes past 1. Thank you for joining me. I'll take a break and then we get it started.
Let's get into the sunny way of the FCT.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
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 From the fact that food is the most important thing right now. Food security and sufficiency has been a major issue. It has caused people to go out on the streets and protest against the government, saying we're hungry, we need this sorted out. MBS is saying that we're seeing a little decline in inflation in a country, but then when you look at it compartmentally, especially as it has to do with food inflation, you know, basically you might see that not much has changed. So like I was saying, and we all know that the federal government has taken initiative to ensure that there is custom-free, duty-free food importation on certain items. It's been reported now that the Nigerian Customs Service has been directed to start the implementation of 0% import duty and exemption of VAT on basic food items, as is reported across different dailies. And this was after President Bola Tinubu approved the implementation of the 0% import duty and exemption of value-added tax on basic food items. The Ministry of Finance confirmed the approval in a letter to the Nigerian Customs Service dated 8th of August 2024. And the Nigerian Customs Service also confirmed the development in a document shared, to media. Responding, the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Customs, Bashir Adini, instructed officials of the service to commence enforcement measures. And in the circular that is titled Approval for the Implementation of 0% Duty Rate on Basic Food Items, the NCS said the Ministry of Finance sent a letter to the service informing the agency that Tinubu, that's the president, has approved the implementation. The letter dated August 14, 2024 and signed by the Deputy Comptroller General, C.K. Naigwan, noted that the food commodities include maize, husk brown rice, wheat grain, beans, and millet. So these are some of the basic things, of course, that Nigerians use almost on a daily basis, basically. So yeah, you have things like maize, husk brown rice, wheat grain, beans, and millet. So approval for the importation without any tax duty on these items have commenced, as is approved by the President and now the Comptroller General, and then subsequently, transmitted to all the offices and all the relevant, custom duty branches, especially in areas or in Lagos or places where these items come through into the country. Okay. Now, the Deputy Comptroller General, that is C.K. Naigwan, stated that the policy is restricted to the items listed and it's effective from July 15th to December 31. Remember that is for a period of time. So it's been backdated now to July 15th. So anything that is imported, anything from 15th to December 31 would be duty-free or tax-free, VAT-free. The letter read, and just in quote, in part, I'm directed to forward herewith a copy of the Federal Ministry of Finance letter confirming His Excellency Mr. President's approval for the implementation of 0% duty rate and value-added tax exemption on some basic food items. You are to note the following, that the policy is restricted to the items listed in the letter and it's effective July 15, 2020, is effective July 15 till December 31, 2024. And the importation of these items shall be limited to investors with milling capacity and a verifiable backward integration program for some of the items. The deputy director further stated that the finance ministry would provide a list of importers and approved quotas during the implementation period and call for wide coverage to ensure strict compliance. The Federal Ministry of Finance shall from time to time during the implementation period furnish the Nigerian Customs Service with a list of importers and their approved quotas to guide the importation on the basic food items and ensure wide circulation for strict compliance. Please, that's what the letter added. Now, if you all recall, the federal government announced on July 10 the suspension of duties, tariffs, and taxes on importation of food staples through land and sea borders to reduce inflation. And on August 7, the NCS said the duty waiver on imported food will be implemented within the week. And so here we are as it begins. Okay, so the custom has said it has given its approval right to begin the implementation of 0% import duty and exemption of value-added tax as VAT on basic food items. And in a statement yesterday, Abdullahi Maywada, the Chief Superintendent of Customs National Public Relations Officer for the Comptroller General of Customs, said the service said this policy would be from 15 to December 31, 15 July to December 31, and the initiative is part of the government's broader efforts to address food security challenges and ensure that basic foodstuffs are accessible to all Nigerians. And according to the service, to participate in the importation, a company must be incorporated in Nigeria. Okay, so this is for those who are interested in this scheme right now and this particular program that will run within this 6 months period or thereabout. You have to have a company that is incorporated here in Nigeria. Okay, and you have been operational on ground for at least 5 years. Customs said that the company must also have filed their annual returns and financial statements as well as paid taxes and statutory payroll obligation for the past 5 years. Incorporated, have been running operational for the past 5 years, must have paid your financial statements or, filed your annual returns statement as well as paid all your taxes and statutory payroll obligation in the last 5 years. And also, Customs said that companies importing husk brown rice, grain sorghum, or millet need to own a milling plant with a capacity of at least 100 tons per day and operate for at least 4 years and have enough farmland for cultivation. I don't know how many people have such capacity, but this is their requirement. So if you have a milling plant, especially for those who want to bring in, the brown rice, grain sorghum, or millet, then you have to have a milling plant that is able to churn out at least 100 tons per day, and you have been on ground operating in the last 4 years, or you have enough farmland for cultivation. And those importing maize, wheat, or beans must be agricultural companies with sufficient farmland or feed mills / agro-processing companies with an outgrower network for cultivation. That's according to the Customs Service. And the basic food items eligible for the 0% duty are husk brown rice, grain sorghum, millet, maize, wheat, and beans. Okay, so that's how you can benefit from this in case you're one of those agricultural companies that have all the requirements put forward by the customs. But also there are penalties, right? There are penalties that go for a lack of obligation or your defaulting in fulfilling obligation. The customs said that if a company fails to fulfill its obligation under the import authorization, it will lose all waivers and must pay the applicable VAT, levies, and import duties. And this penalty, the service said, also applies if the company exports the imported items, whether in their original or processed form outside of Nigeria. So you cannot import those things duty-free and then you think you can do koni and then export it to other African countries so that you can sell at an exorbitant price or profit from it. This is strictly for the benefit of Nigerians, that food will be accessible and affordable to Nigerians. That's the initiative the government has put on ground to help Nigerians access some of this basic everyday food that Nigerians consume: rice, wheat, millet, beans, etc. Now, you cannot, as a company who has this capacity and who has all the requirements, decide to jump in on this and benefit from it, and then you come back, you probably take it in or bring in, process it, and then you want to, under the guise of, we're a big company and we're used to exporting, begin to export such things. The company, or when customs finds you out, well, the price tag is the fact that you will have to pay all those things that the government said you should not pay, and that's the VAT. Okay, and apart from the fact that you also be levied, So all those waivers that the government says you should not pay, you pay it, and then the import duties plus all of that. Okay, so these are some of the issues we have on ground. And the Customs Service also reiterated its commitment to supporting government policies to enhance food security and promote economic stability. And also, Customs encouraged all stakeholders to cooperate fully in implementing this initiative for the benefit of Nigerians. So let's not show ourselves. Hopefully, no one becomes a scapegoat in the midst of this, because this are some of the ways that Nigerians always try to rob themselves of some of the benefits that should come to other Nigerians, especially the middlemen, who are in the midst of, or who have the responsibility to, do what is right so that it becomes easy for people. But I think people are more driven by making their profits and making a business out of something that should serve the ordinary Nigerian. So you make it a little more difficult. We're talking about that yesterday at the beginning of our Agri Show, when, you see how some of these middlemen, and nobody's saying you should not carry on your business. It's legitimate to do business. But then, when you do it without some sort of humanity or human face to it, it becomes a problem. When you are also at the forefront of driving inflation, when there's no reason to be, for us to have much high prices, whether in food items or other items in the market, where people just hoard them and sell them at exorbitant prices. Because I'm surprised to hear that there are some food items that once you go and you have direct links to these farmers who bring them from their farm, from their farms, fresh from their farms, then you don't even have to pay as much as you pay when you go to the market. But because all these guys, they have access, they have some sort of cartel or some sort of, association that is strong, they go mop everything out and then bring it to the market and just keep increasing the prices and makes it increasingly difficult for Nigerians. So this is where we are right now. Another window has been opened for Nigerians to, see how things can be easy. Hopefully, we get to see the changes if those companies who qualify in government's own requirement to bring in food into the country, duty-free imports, duty-free, VAT-free, all of that, they will utilize that and then make it accessible for Nigerians. And not that we'll continue to see a steady rise, because they are doing so and are not effecting, the right changes that needs to make it easy for Nigerians, because the purpose would have been defeated at the end of the day. So those are the requirements, and that is the current news for Nigeria and Nigerians. Now, like I was telling you, also there's a recommendation that has been made by the NJC for most probably new incoming CJ of the country. The National Judicial Council has recommended Justice Kudirat Kekere Ekun as the Chief Justice of Nigeria. The NJC also recommended 27 others as judges of state high courts, and there will be more information on this story as time goes on. But this is where we are right now. One has been penned down as recommendation, pending approval, knowing that the process, that's what it follows. I'm sure we are going to know eventually if she becomes a substantive CJ when the CJ eventually gets to retire. Okay, so, and I was saying also, with regards to the issue of inflation, as is reported by NBC now. NBC has been reporting month in, month, out on how the inflation dynamics is unfolded in the country. So right now, MBS reports that for the first time in a very, very long time, after about 19 months, that inflation rate has gone down. That is what is reported across some national dailies. Okay. Let me see. Let me just bring you the details of that, and then we'll open up the lines and have you begin to make your comments. Okay, so Nigeria's headline inflation rate decreased to 33.40% in July. Okay, remember that MBS always reports the month before the month we're in. Okay, so they always backdate it or make it so that you see how inflation panned out in the previous month. So this time around, as at July, the claim, according to the report, is that inflation in Nigeria went down to 33.40% in July from 33.19% in June of 2024. Okay, so this marked the first decline in the headline inflation since December of 2022, when it last dropped to 21.34%. The latest inflation rate figures are based on the MBS CPI report for July 2024, and according to the report, the headline inflation rate decreased by 0.979 percentage points in July of 2024 compared to June of 2024. On a year-on-year basis, the rate was 9.32 percent points higher than July 2023, when it stood at 24.08%. And this indicates an increase in the headline inflation rate on a year-on-year basis for July 2024 compared to the same month in the previous year. Okay. Additionally, on a month-on-month basis, the headline inflation rate in July of 2024 was 2.28%, slightly lower than 2.31% recorded in June of 2024.
More news and information coming up. We'll be back in a moment.
Hello, Abuja. Are you ready? You are specially invited to Night of Blessings, a time of praise, the word, and penalty.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
Audio Jungle.
Hi everyone, my name is Swat. That's the name my father gave me, but you can always call me Her Vocal Majesty. I'm the host of The Sunny Side on 95.1 Nigeria Info. It takes place every weekday, noon to 3 p.m. where we get to have all the lovely contemporary conversations. If your days are normally long and gloomy, well, not anymore, because I'm here to make it all bright and sunny for you. So join me. It's an invitation. You don't want to miss out.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
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 Sunny Side on 95.1 Nigeria Info.
All right, welcome. Yes, we are still on the trending stories for today, Thursday, 15th of August, 2024. We've looked at the issue of custom-free, VAT-free and custom duty-free imports and levies-free of food items that the government have approved by the president, and the Comptroller General of the Police has given also the go-ahead to all his men and women to go ahead and implement that at all the borders. At least you must comply with the requirements. Okay, you're a company registered in the country. You've been operational for 5 years. You have a capacity, milling capacity, especially those who want to import the rice and the millet. You have to have a milling company or a processing company that churns out at least 100 tons per day. And you've been there for the last 4 years. You also have a big farmland, etc., etc. This has all the conditions. Provided you meet those conditions, then you are part of those who will benefit as the companies that can import those items that are VAT-free. And also, one of the recommendations is that you should not be found wanting to re-export those items you bring into the company, because that's the problem of Nigerians. You get something free and then you want to just cash out, no matter how bad or inimical it is to the purpose for which it was started in the first place. So that is meant to help Nigerians get food at a cheaper rate. Let's see how this works, because the pessimism in the air about things not working in the country because of some of these things that we talked about, the middlemen and people who just sabotage all the efforts that are put in place to ensure that things work in this country. Hopefully this will not be the case. Hopefully we begin to see at least a downward trend in food items, especially grains, that are quite an everyday thing for Nigerian families. Maize, rice, these are things that people consume on a daily basis, and people need to access them. So the more expensive it gets, the more dissatisfied and discontent. I guess that's the reason for this. Also, we're looking at the case of inflation as it's been reported that for the first time in 19 months, trying to make comparison with how it used to be back in 2023 to 2024. For the first time, we have recorded a little decline in inflation of food items, especially, for July. For July, it is said to have dropped by some 0.27% or thereabout. It may not be so significant, but it's worthy of also reporting, just so we will know and also compare if we had any sort of, changes. Yeah, this may not be food, but generally, though, it is being said that it's declined a bit. So it shows some sort of stability and even appreciation in the spending power of citizens. But then it's left for you and I to also give our own feedback to that, because we are the Nigerians and we are the ones who spend on everyday items and services as needed, right? And then also we have the issue of the NJC recommending Justice Kudirat Kekere Ekun, even as the NJC is set to retire pretty soon. Very, very soon, the NJC would be, the CJ would be retiring, okay? the recommendation was made in an impromptu closed-door meeting initially slated for Friday, but then it had to be brought forward to Thursday. That's today. And the NJC also recommended for 27 other judges of the State High Court in the meeting, which is ongoing. The outgoing CJN, who is Justice Olukayode Ariwola, will bow out of the bench on August 22nd, having attained a mandatory retirement age of 70. So that is what is bringing about the recommendation of Justice Kudirat Kekere. Hopefully, we see if she is given the substantive post and how much impact she's able to bring for the judiciary, which is one arm that is of big concern to Nigerians, and many Nigerians desire to see a much better judiciary. Bringing her experiences on board, I'm sure would go a long way to better make the judiciary more appreciated by all and more effective in carrying out their duties. So having said all of that, or bringing all those trending stories to you, let's get to hear your own take. What's your own response to the stories or the trending stories today, Thursday, 15th of August, 2024. Please call me up if you want to comment, if you want to contribute, if you want to share your own thoughts on any of the stories this afternoon. You can call me up on 0700-951, then 0000. You can also dial 080-9597 4869, and the WhatsApp is 080-999-30137. Send a message via that, or you can simply make a call on WhatsApp, and that will be fine. Hello. Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, I remain Justice of Peace.
All right, we're listening.
I think the waiver for importation of grains, foodstuff, is a good one. Looking at the inflation and the way the whole things are going in the country. But this condition that custom is bringing is where I begin to have a little doubt, because if a kind of open door is created and I decide, I want to be importing these things in order to have a surplus in the country, and you now say, because I've never been operated for 5 years, because I don't have a large farmland, because of this I don't have right to import. I think you are still trying to squeeze Nigeria to the level of that hardship or scarcity of these grains or foodstuff we are talking about. Yes, I quite agree. If you want to export, that one you are totally going for your business. So whatever duty you need to pay for export, good. But when it comes to bringing it to Nigeria, I think they should keep the door open and even invite those who can go into these importations to make these things surplus in the country in order for Nigerians to be able to access it. That's when you can even get more competition, because those who have been in business for many years might even try to do one or two punky Yankees because they have been in the business. Okay. But someone who wants to go in there to bring it in for it to be surplus can open the door and make it accessible and easier. As I round up, in recommending Kekere, the Chief Justice, is a good one. I just pray that the government in power will not also muzzle her chance of service in order to control and have control over it. We are getting an election coming up. We shouldn't see what we saw at the past times where, in fact, a chief judge would tell Atiku not to even near the Supreme Court because he's not going to favor. No. We are expecting someone that will come and defend justice according to the right justice, not one who come and is coming to work for the government in power. We don't need that. I pray that God will help Nigeria and not to push us into that hole anymore. Thank you, man.
All right, thank you, Justice of Peace.
For her to have attended such a.
Hello. Yes, good afternoon. You're welcome.
Good afternoon, ma. Justice of Peace agreed to you. This is not calling from Major State. And this what I think this pre-importation of food it has taken too long now. This is almost a month done. We have been singing one thing as if it's national anthem. Well, I don't know how many days or how many weeks will it take Nigeria to solve one or two problems. You understand? It's just an order you will give, and the Attorney General of Custom will sign it. For me, I think it's just like a game of a politics. It's taking too long. For more than a month, you have been singing one thing: free importation of food items, free importation of food items. It's wrong to me. And for this Attorney General of the Reservation, I don't know how the position is being given. Is it by fullness or by right or by position? We don't know. I think somebody should lighten us on that so that we'll understand.
So that you understand what? Sorry, I don't understand your question. You said what? Is it by what?
I said this Attorney General of the Federation, this one that's going out now, and the one that they are going to replace the outgoing one.
Mm-hmm.
How the position is being given? Is it by right or by next to the person or how?
Okay.
Or by position or whoever the federal government will feel like to give. They will give it to.
Oh well, it's the federal government that would appoint. Let me just drop the call so that you're listening. Is the federal government that would approve the appointment? At the end of the day. But what the NJC does is to recommend. And that's what they do. They do at the end of the day as the body. That is in charge of that body of benchers and all of that. So they look at who is the next in line. I don't know what other criteria goes into it, but of course, they make their recommendation based on a whole lot of things. And I'll be looking through the requirements and giving you that in a bit. Hello.
Hello, Swat. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, it's Mike when Windows.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you. If you ask me on the custom whatever to allow people to import whatever without duty and all of that, in as much as it looks good from the surface, for me, I see it as still attending to what is urgent, not what is important. If my member will not fail me or disappoint me, we know of a country like China, whom we were at par before. Well, how do they get to where they are today? They lock themselves in and say, what we can't produce inside, we don't need it. They are not bringing in anything out, and they're not bringing anything in, and they're not taking anything out for some time. That was what gave China the height or the position they are in the global community today. For us to say, our own way of approach in solving this problem is to import. Swat, I beg to be challenged or to put it that whatever it is we are saying, let us open our border to import, we can grow them here. The issue is a situation where the government of the day or the system we run in our government as a country is to gather everything to the center. That is what has killed our agriculture in the rural area, in the local governments and all of that. If Tinubu is serious with the local government autonomy thing he said he is doing, because subsequent government talk about resource control, the immediate one talk about restructuring, all of them, they just play politics with it and go away. If Tinubu is serious with local government autonomy, there is nothing like, if he's talking about only financial autonomy or fiscal autonomy, let people be able to produce things in our locality, in our local governments. That is the way we can go, and it to be sustainable. The last administration closed border, particularly on rice, so that we can produce rice locally, so we can have it produced locally. Now we are reversing it. Yes, because the new policies and all of that, hunger is on the ground. So it's an immediate step to push on it. But then, in the long run, in the long term, I don't see it being sustainable. We can be able to grow our whatever it is we want to consume in Nigeria. We have fat land, we have able-bodied men and all of that. Whatever it is we need to grow anything, have it here. So the import, short-term solution, but for me it's not sustainable, because if we do not return the people's resources to them at the local level, whatever it is they are doing, I don't see it being as lasting solution.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hello.
Swat, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It's Mazi Destiny Anthony.
Okay.
Have you ever done business with somebody who doesn't like to pay? You know, they will tell you by they will tell you by 2 you will get your money. By that 2, they will tell you, as I'm talking to you, I'm in the bank and I'm in front of the teller. You will wait to 6 p.m. He will just tell you that the money just got reversed. That early morning now go back. They will keep posting you, giving you hope. Before you know it, I'm in the bank, you will see it early in the morning. 1 year has gone, 2 years, you've not seen your money. I think that is what is going on with these people. You have been bringing in rice. Let's push in rice. We suspend anybody paying duties for a few months, 3 months or so. Now you're bringing condition that is always making it impossible for anybody to bring in anything. So that means zero your mind that you'll be buying foodstuff, the grain at the price you're buying. I do not see them taking any steps to ameliorate our sufferings. And my own position is that we need to unite and say enough is enough. But for as long as some people are shouting A, others are shouting B, they will continue to play us. I think they've read our body language, they've read our attitude, they've come to this understanding that we can play them, turn them anyhow we want, and they will have their way. That's what they're going to continue to do. So if anybody is thinking that you're going to see rice at 40,000, 50,000 soon, it's a third dream. It may never happen, because I don't see them having that feeling to, ease the pain and the hardship in the land. So let's zero our mind. We don't enter. We go there. Make the finish.
Okay.
What can we do? How your husband, Joe? I hope he's fine.
He's fine.
They chop him money, make it to they chop your own.
Okay. Thank you, Mazi. Thank you so much. Hello.
Hello, Swat.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm okay, thank you.
Yeah, this is Gwaza Max calling.
Okay, Mr. Gwaza, welcome.
Yeah, I've listened to all the verbiage by the government, the conditions attached to protection of rights and the grains and other food items to the country. As Anthony has said, Mazi Anthony has said, it's just a game these people are playing. Why would they give a condition and make conditions to importers in such a way that nobody can meet up? It's so strict that it's very...
Okay, sorry about that. Gwaza Max, please call back. Call back so that you can finish your point there. I see Mr. Fisher on my YouTube page. You said, Mrs. Swat, these inflation figures are not aligning with the reality in town, says Mr. Maxwell, Niger State. I might have to lend those eyeglasses. They are my recommended glasses. What do you want to use them for? My eye and yours are not the same. Okay, thank you though, Mr. Maxwell. Oludade Abiodun said, good afternoon, SWAT. Federal government should do more to make it easy for the masses because government is set to make life better. All right. Thank you so much. Then let me look at the Facebook page and come back to our WhatsApp. Medium Voyant Spiritual said, hello. Oh, no, this kind of messages. We'll clean that off our page. Good afternoon, Ma. I like your passion and effort to work. May God make life easy for us all, says Abundance K Inheritance. Thank you, Abundance. Chiamaka G. Godwin says, I celebrate you, Barrister Swat. God continue to place you above and heal our nation, Nigeria. Amen. Clems said, good afternoon, Madam Swat. How are you doing? Well done work. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And then coming to the WhatsApp portal now to see what the messages are saying this afternoon. Let me access this one. Hafsa just said good afternoon to you. Thank you. Hafsa, good afternoon to you. Then this is King from Muse too. It's good to hear that the duty of those items have been suspended, but I fear that marketers may start hoarding the items now and sell at higher prices after the grace period is over. The government has to ensure that this doesn't happen, says King. Thank you. Solomon in Lifecam said, good afternoon, Madam Swat. Concerning the discussion on ground, I would say it's a good policy from the federal government, but the conditions are too much. I wonder whether anybody can meet up with those requirements. There are people who have, I think invariably it's saying that individuals cannot do that. You have to be a well-grounded company because at least there is some sort of reliability, right? If you allow individual businessmen and women to do these things, honestly, there will be a lot of chaos. And what we are trying to avoid will become the inevitable at the end of the day. Even though people don't believe and feel, well, it's going to be the same old. But at least it's better. You hold accountable companies that are well invested and have been running and have a certain kind of capacity. You don't just give it to anybody, right? So yeah, it might sound too much, but you'll be shocked. We have a whole lot of people who have rice mills, a lot of mills around the country, spread across the country, and are also into big time farming. So yeah, for those who can do that, but we hope that it would not be a process that is sabotaged by some few. Good day, Swat. Justice Kudirat Kekereakun will not be any better from other justices because her previous judgment, which she has presided, have been very controversial. I don't see anything good coming to the judiciary under her, says Joe in Maraba. Good afternoon, Swat. Welcome to Sunnyside. You are really doing a nice job. Well done, says Joe Nwachku. Thank you, Mr. Joe. Appreciate that. Then to this one says, hope you're doing well, please. I beg this family, I need, okay. Let me leave that out. Like I said, please, guys, don't be sending this sort of messages. It might not be read and then you might be feeling offended. We've told you what the process is. You're looking or soliciting for help, come through the right channel, okay? Good afternoon, SWAT. My name is Micah Akeri. The condition put up by the federal government will make it difficult for many companies to participate in the importation of food items, hence leading to a monopoly by a few organizations that will meet this requirement. I disagree with the people that are pointing to the middlemen stroke women that are the cause of inflation. Is the federal government bad policies that are causing the inflation? For example, floating of the naira, removal of subsidy, insecurity everywhere, and tripling of electricity charges. You agree with me that before this administration, there was a time we were buying 50 kg of imported rice. Were there no middlemen then? Okay. Rufai from Abuja said, Vocal Majesty, the activities of this middleman is really worrisome. There's a farmer's market in Guje where these farmers bring fresh farm produce to sell at normal prices, which are very considerable. But the middleman would pay an ambush by the entrance and collect these items, buy at a bit higher prices, and then come into the market and triple the prices to other buyers. It's really sad. And now the farmers even prefer to sell to the middleman. My name is Icha Moses. You said, good afternoon, Nigeria Info. Okay, this is from earlier on, not for me. This one says hello. And then Tokwe earlier on sent, hello, Swat. Trust you're good, Tokwe. Yes, I am. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And you checking all the time. This one here says, good afternoon, Madam Swat. Lucky from Dawaki. Thank you. Then Banki says, greetings. We thank Tinubu for allowing importation of some food items. We reduced tariffs for 6 months. We thank him for paying some subsidy on PMS to ensure that the prices does not all go overboard. Though the government is in denial, may the refinery start dispensing. May the CNG vehicles flood the streets, and God will see us through this difficult period of revamping the economy, says Banki. We say amen to that. I want to talk about the man that is looking for 60-year-old man. Okay, this is not for me. I guess this should be Lagos message. Right, let's come back to the phone lines and take on more callers. Hello.
Yes. Madam Swat the Great.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome.
Mazia greeting. Mazia say we don't enter this one already. we don't enter. Not true, we don't enter. All this policy, all this one that we are reading in the paper. Now paper work with the year. We don't go see any action. No action for the past 1 year plus now. CNG will come, CNG never come. Fuel price will go down if they remove subsidy. If it never go down, it's going up. Q has come to stay in Nigeria. Q has come to stay. There is Q everywhere, fuel Q. If you go here, you see fuel Q. Anywhere you see fuel Q. You has come to stay, you can imagine. This food stuff here and there, all those one. What does it take, Mr. President, to go to Benin Republic, talk to their president? Their major business there is rice and groundnut oil. Give me 1 million metric tons of rice. Do it like this, do it like this. Oh yeah, open the border, reduce the fuel price to 300, and you see food flow everywhere. Things will work out. It's not a rocket science. They should do the needful and allow Nigeria to enjoy what God has given them. Go to well, you cannot go to Niger because they are not friends anymore. You know, only the Republic of Benin is okay for us. They have more than enough rice there. Very good rice. Very good rice. Anytime I enter Lagos, see rice they flow for Seme, for Diroko, everywhere. They have enough rice. Let them bring rice, bring Ororo, groundnut oil. You see everything will work out for Nigeria. Not that these people should come. I reduce this one, I reduce all those on a paperwork. I mean, I don't believe in Tinubu government. If they cannot achieve anything, nothing. We don't enter already. Let's keep praying to God. God should send Messiah. Oh, this is a good opportunity.
All right, thank you. Elder, appreciate that. Hello?
Sister Swat,
Fine, thank you.
how is your day now?
It's going good, sir. How's yours going too?
We are managing it.
All right. Good to know.
It is well.
It is well.
Yeah, this is will be the next president. Yeah.
Go ahead.
You don't expect because they want to throw the border open, it should be for Sun and Sunday. It's not possible. It doesn't make sense. There are people in this business for some years, which they have labored their fund. They have paid their taxes. Now their government want to give them Christmas bonus. So we should expect that government should throw it open to everybody. What of those who have been in that business, who have been enduring the policy, have been managing business, they should not benefit from it. I tell you, those conditions, we have some company in the world that will pass it without any struggle. So I expect them to engage it. So we do not conduct that policy is very flexible. You cannot, because you want to satisfy citizens' opinion, then you do things anyhow. We are in a system of government that is being run properly. So
all right, round up because we are going to run for commercial soon. A commercial is coming up, so you need to round up.
Thank you. So that the customer will be able to monitor them, how they sell those products.
Okay, sorry, we have to quickly run for commercial right now. We'll come right back and we'll be rounding up on this discussion. It's 1:54. Stay with us.
More talk, news, and sports after this.
Hi, everyone. My name is Swat. That's the name my father gave me, but you can always call me Her Vocal Majesty. I'm the host of The Sunny Side on 95.1 Nigeria Info. It takes place every weekday, noon to 3 p.m., where we get to have all the lovely contemporary conversations. If your days are normally long and gloomy, well, not anymore, because I'm here to make it all bright and sunny for you. So join me. It's an invitation. You don't want to miss out.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is
sunny side with Swat.
This is Sunnyside on 95.1 Nigeria Info.
Welcome back. This is the last bend. At 2 o'clock, we'll be having a live appearance for 1 full hour. So that's how it will be. So we're rounding up. I'll be taking on this caller. Hello. Okay, that did not stay. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes, this is Temloka calling from Bari.
Okay.
Yeah. In the area of this green, the commission custom gives is not so difficult. So I know people will meet up with it. But I usually time to come down. I try to take it to their need. They will meal and package, pay their staff. It's like the entire market. I don't think times will come down. It's going to be a new thing at all because it's a business. According to what Joe just said, they will benefit. It's like giving them bonus. Those who are in the business before. So I thought they will take it to their mail. Really, the package, everything, they will buy fuel to run their machine. I thought they will come to the market. Is it going to be cheap? I don't see that way. That's not it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Well, these are ways people are thinking, and it's okay to ask all those questions because at the end of the day, you don't know what to expect. Good afternoon, SWAT. You can never remove the activities of middlemen in chain distribution of goods in our society. The only way to ameliorate or reduce their impact is increase production. They cannot buy off everything if the goods produced are in abundance. Note, we also have the advantage of middlemen in chain distribution. Of course, we can't do away with that. Nobody is advocating that they be removed. We're just saying that some of the activities inimical to people who are at the receiving end can also, be considered by this middleman. And it can also be reduced if government invests in this business of agriculture too, right? And subsidizes it and provides incentive for farmers so that, like you said, we can have an overflow. We can have mass food production. And that way, nobody is able to, what we call colobi everything onto themselves and then determine. No. If government also gets into the arena, and that's what we're saying, government cannot fold its arm and say they have no business in some of these things, especially for food, oil, power. You see these very critical sectors. Many governments all across the world are involved, fully involved. You don't just leave that to chance or to middlemen or whatever it is you call them. And that's what we're saying. Okay? Let me see. This is a message here from the Deacon Emmanuel Okudili Ede Madala. He said, good day, SWAT. Agri Salasi El Dagbam Boshe, Mr. Abubakar from Gwagwalada, and the new king of Nigeria, Info Adeumi. The politician and Tinubu's administration have nothing reasonable to the ordinary Nigerians, and it's quite unfortunate, but we have the chance of changing the scenario of this government if we are not comfortable with their harsh policies by 2031. 2031. Okay, that's what the Deacon says. Bex from Kuje said, I think about how this is a problem that cannot be fixed by successive governments. Please educate us so my worries can be addressed. Hundreds of billions on subsidies monthly, then how much is required to build new refineries? Bex is asking that with regards to what now? Is it the refineries or what? Ben from Garki said, good afternoon, Madam Swat. Is it after the damages have been done to our democracy and the judiciary that the right things will be done? A head that is already off can only be fixed by God, says Ben. And then, Swat, Kolobi. You're not serious. Why won't I know Kolobi as if I'm not a Nigerian? All right, let's take on the final caller. Hello?
Hello, my sister. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon to you. Welcome.
Yeah, my name is Obedient Moses Nwachukwu.
Okay.
I don't always, normally, I'm a listener and I'm not caller. But
all right.
If it touches me, I would like to call in.
Okay.
So, about this importation of goods and importation of rice, I want to ask Tinubu and his cabinet members, is the only rice that Nigeria wants? Tinubu, I ask you this question. Is the only rice that we want? We are not hungry of rice. What we are hungry is this. Tinubu, listen to me. Let me just advise you. At least somebody will tell you. Listen to me. What we want in this country now, Tinubu, fix our refineries with the subsidy money you are cutting. for a long time ago. Use that money to fix our refineries. We don't need super highway. For now, we don't need super highway. What we need is agricultural and our refineries. Mechanized farming. Tinubu, give us mechanized farming. Nigerians are not lazy. Why are you punishing Nigerians like this? Tinubu, people are saying that they will vote you out in 4 years' time. Did they vote you in before? You use the money to buy it and...
We will not go down that path, okay? Because you're not going to put us in some sort of situation where we'll have to start explaining the things you're saying. Be very careful. When the courts have spoken, you don't come here and say things like that. Right, so this is where I draw the curtain on this very space. Thank you for the contribution, guys. We have a live appearance and we cannot get into that time. So, I'll see you in a bit when we start up that discussion. Don't go anywhere.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info. This is Nigeria Info.